Okay. Kayla got the 111, number 111. Sipping lemonade, throwing light shade. Okay. So I tried to go out tonight.
What's good, everyone? It is Kayla Got the 411. I'm back for another What's Good episode. I'm here with Waji. Waji, this segment is called What's Good. What's good with you? How are you doing? How's your mental health?
I am doing as good as I can be doing. It's cold outside, so naturally my mental health is worse. But
where are you located?
Georgia.
Oh.
I'm like right next to Marietta. So it's like,
oh, you here in Atlanta. Okay, I'm here too. It's cold. Like, did you see the snow flurries that we got Saturday?
Yeah, it snowed last night or something. There was a storm too. It was
the storm.
It was so bad.
And I was like, how do we go from a storm to all of a sudden snow flurry? So the weather here, you all in Georgia, I think I talked to someone who's in Washington, D.C. It's snowing there and it's snowing in New York. So spring is next week, I believe. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm glad that you're doing good. I'm excited to have you on. I listen to your music. And let me tell you something. You are an amazing, amazing artist. Do you consider yourself up and coming?
Yeah, a bit lower than up and coming, but yeah, I do consider myself up and coming.
Okay, so you are Nigerian. Like, what type of music were you listening to growing up?
Growing up, I listened to a wide array of music. A lot of Nigerian artists like Asha, Two-Face Idibia, who goes by Baba now. I listened to Davido, Wizkid, Waji. As for the international artists, I listen to Michael Jackson, I listen to Beyonce, Rihanna. I love Bruno Mars. I love a lot of artists. I love Coldplay. I love, it's a wide array of artists I listen to.
The artists that you actually name, like, that's one thing they all got. Like, they all have, like, talent. You know, I think that you can tell a lot. You can tell a lot about the type of artists people name and their influences. And sometimes when you listen to people's music, you're like, okay, that's why they take their music so serious. So when was it for you when you decided, you know what, music, I'm going to take it serious. I'm going to make this a career?
This was in sophomore year of college. My major, which was mechanical engineering, was not working out for me at all. And I decided, as an outlet, I'm just gonna start writing songs to feel good. I'm gonna drop it, like, for a hobby, to get my mind off things. And people loved it. People really loved it. And I don't know, that's how it just started. That's how I decided, maybe I could do this for real. Like, maybe I could go somewhere with it.
Did you actually continue with the degree, or?
I did. I switched majors, but I did finish my degree last semester.
Yes, come on. Okay, perfect. So speaking of that, how you decided, okay, let me actually see if I can take this serious. How has the support been from, like, your friends, your family, your peers, and even people back home?
Initially, from my family and my peers, it wasn't like a lot of support, okay? The majority of the support I was getting was from the people on my team that produced for me, but that was basically all of it. But eventually, as I started to release more and do better, they started seeing in me what I saw in me, and then they started supporting me. So it's something.
What was the reaction when you told them, hey, I'm doing music?
It wasn't good at all.
Yeah.
My parents didn't like that at all, and they didn't really come to terms with it till like 2 months ago. So yeah, it's not really their thing. They're more of the do school, do science, be great. I can be great.
Yeah, I don't know why. It seems like parents, they always either want you to go be a doctor, a nurse, or something. And I remember, trust me, I get it, especially in high school, everybody was going to school. I was like, I'm not about to be no nurse, like, But, like, even what you said earlier, sometimes people can see things in yourself that you don't see in you. And it's so interesting. You may hear people say, oh, your music's so great, and you're probably like, okay. But I definitely truly believe, because I've been through there too, where, sometimes you don't really feel just as so confident in what you're doing, but everybody else around, they can see the talent. So shout out to them. They are supporting now, like, amazing. So the pity party, very heartful, very vulnerable. Like, tell me, what was your mind like when you created that project? Because I love the name. I love the name.
Right. My mind was exactly where you think it is if you listen to the EP. I was heartbroken.
Okay.
I was so heartbroken. It was the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. So I was alone at home, heartbroken. And so I just started writing this. And like I kind of like found it ridiculous that I was just like laying in my sorrows, and it's like kind of like, oh, I'm throwing myself a pity party. And that's how I came up with it. Like, oh, this is a pity party where I just whine about my sorrows and my heartbreak. And yep.
It seemed like we all was going through it during the pandemic. Like, what was going on? Like, I don't know. You know what I think it is? I think we all was kind of home, and we all got to really think. And a lot of relationships ended, unfortunately. Like, I don't know, but I think it was a good thing. Do you look back now when you was heartbroken, you look back like, okay, I get it. It really wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, I understand it now. Like, if I look back at the relationship that broke me, I could never go back there, and I'm glad I'm not in it anymore. Like, it's something I just had to go through, and it brought this EP, and so it was a blessing and a curse, but mostly a blessing.
And there's nothing wrong, because when I'm heartbroken, I can't eat. I tell people I be slim.
I lost like 7 pounds after my heart.
I be really, really like don't want to eat, don't want to get out of bed, and then you have those sad songs, especially songs like BMH. I don't really think it's a sad song, but I know you mentioned in there you've been writing sad songs. So key people that makes that you write your own music. I think that's very, very important for artists to actually put how they feel on the paper. And when you do that, I notice that it comes off very authentic, and that listener can actually relate more to the music. So you pretty much use your music as like a personal diary. Is that true?
Yeah, basically, because I don't talk that much in real life. I'm very introverted, so I don't really tell people what's going on with me. So music is my outlet. It's my diary. I write what I'm feeling, and that's it. Like, that's how I communicate my feelings to the world, with music.
Right. So during the pandemic, did you actually record your music at home, or were you able to like navigate to the studio?
My college had a free studio that I could use. It was really hard though, because sometimes I would come in, they've trashed the place. I have to use a podcast.
Wait, trash? What do you mean trash?
Like, I don't know. I think people would come in the day before, they would have a crazy session. They would party in the studio. They would trash the place. And so like, I only got to use a proper mic for BMH. The rest of the 3 songs, I had to use a podcast mic. Like, I struggled to record this EP, but like, we did it.
Nobody would have never known. Like, how? And that was pretty much a free studio for students, right?
Yeah. So I had to book it. I had to like, I would like use only 2 hours at a time, come back the next day, another 2 hours. That stuff is hard.
That is just so, especially during that time when people in schools put money and time into the studio, just trifling. I'm just, that done threw me off, just knowing like you come in there thinking that you're about to pour some music, booked it, and it's just probably liquor bottles and I can't imagine. So back to the music. I know one of my favorite songs was definitely BMH, and you did put that as a first song. Yeah. I think that's very, very smart. What do you want your listeners to like know about you when they listen to your music?
When they listen to my music, I kind of just want them to know how I'm feeling, really, especially BMH. If you look at the lyrics properly, I basically talk about my progression from like being mentally stable and happy, and then this person comes into my life and it just goes. I just decline and decline and decline. So I want them to like realize, I want them to know what I'm going through, I want them to understand how I'm feeling.
Right.
And that's yeah.
Do you think it's beneficial for artists to be so vulnerable? Because as I listen to the song, I was listening to the music. I like to listen to artists' music over and over and over again to get a feel for you. And I remember being on TikTok literally the same day. And this girl, she's been updating people on her heartbreak story. You know, she'll come back 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, and just updating people. Just reading the comments, people were literally so mean and nasty, telling her, "Why are you coming on social media telling people your business?" But also there's another part of women who's like, "Thank you so much. Like, I'm going through a heartbreak. Like, literally, I'm on the same week as you." Do you think it's important for artists to just tell your listeners like how you truly feel? Don't hide behind the lyrics.
I think it's very important to be vulnerable as an artist, because a lot of people feel so alone. There's so many people out there who are heartbroken and they think, oh, I'm the only one going through this shit. But like when you listen to the song, you're like, oh, this artist is going through what I am going through too. And so now you're less alone, you know? Now you feel like someone can hear you.
It's not just you. It's not just you crying. It's not just you just sad.
Right.
Anyway, it's okay to be heartbroken.
What?
It happens to the best of us. It's okay to be heartbroken. It happens to the best of us.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I think that's amazing. And though Lord knows I've had my share of heartbreak, but what I went to help me get out of it was what music that was relatable to what I was going through. And even if it's not relatable, you can kind of listen to music like BMH. I can listen to that song and appreciate it, even though I'm not heartbroken right now. And I'm pretty sure a lot of other listeners, they definitely appreciate that. And the grieving, and although that's those 4 EP songs, they definitely told a story, and I'm pretty sure listeners agree. Was that your whole method to it?
Yeah, it was basically 4 different stories. That's all I was doing with it, pretty much.
Amazing. You are so talented. So let's get to know you better. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to kind of base these questions around the project, the pity party. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions. You be honest and let me know. And this is going to be advice for, I take all of you all advice because I'm not perfect. And for other people who are listening, they can take your advice. So do you think it is ever okay to call an ex just to say hi after a breakup?
Yes. I have a problem with like people forgetting me. And so like if I feel like my ex is like gone too long without contacting me, I'm gonna say hi. Like you're not gonna forget me. You can't break my heart and just forget about me. I'm gonna say hi, be nice to you, you know, so you can think, oh, they're being so nice to me. I shouldn't have hurt them. It's like a guilt tripping mechanism, but I will say hi after the breakup. It's fine. You do what you want to do. Yeah.
Okay, great advice. So what is some advice you would give to someone heartbroken and can't get over that ex?
I'm not the best person to come to.
Let me tell you something. That's hard. Because when I tell you I got some fake pages and I have been on social media just looking and scrolling, and it's just, I don't know if that's healthy. It makes you feel better.
Right. Honestly, if you want to get over someone, the best way is really to stop thinking about them, like block them, do other things, you know, I feel like when you're in a relationship, you like take time to like love this person and you don't take that much time to love yourself. So after the breakup, it's good to like start loving yourself, do things you like, talk to yourself, take care of yourself. And you notice that when you start spending more time with yourself and only thinking about you, eventually it'll go away. Like it'll hurt those days, but like it makes it easier when you keep yourself company. Does that make sense?
Yes, it definitely does. Like getting out the house, you know, like we were talking about earlier, just, you know, sometimes just laying in the bed, you don't want to get out, maybe just going out with friends or just even going to Starbucks. I'm nice to go to Starbucks and just get a white chocolate mocha and just sit there and listen to music. That kind of gets your mind, you know, out. Yeah, so I definitely get what you're saying. And next, so let's say we were throwing a pity party, okay? Who would you invite to it?
All my exes.
Yes.
I'll put all of them in the same room and we'll fight to the death and see how.
Guys, like, oh my gosh, like, so thinking back, like, how many exes do you got? Because, like, how do you determine, like, you determine them, like, relationship-wise, or, like, people that you dated didn't really get there? I've been so confused about that term.
In terms of relationships, I've been like one, but like dated, I'd say like, let's put like 4 people in there.
Me too.
Yeah.
The Hunger Games.
Hunger Games.
May the odds be in your favor. I love that. I definitely think that's gonna be amazing. Oh wow, that's amazing. So next, so I already talked about how did you handle the pandemic, being an artist, but I want to actually get to know your creative process, especially being that you are a singer and a writer. Now, do you actually prefer writing your music on paper, or are you one of those artists that's going to the studio, feel the beat, and it just comes out naturally?
Yeah, I like to write my lyrics on my notes app actually, because it takes time. I mean, there are times where the lyrics just come out like this and come out fast, but I do like to pay extra attention to the language I'm using. So I do have to write it down because I'm trying to communicate with certain people. And so some things that come out of my head might not be as easy to understand. You know?
Got it.
Yeah, so like I try to like make my lyrics more, I try to think through my lyrics very carefully when I write.
Wow, you know what? That's actually important because I think we all have heard those moments where an artist's project comes out and Twitter decides to break down that lyric on what it means. And it's not exactly what I think. Gunna had a situation where he said something on his last album. He had to clarify because people were taking it all the way right. But I think that you actually taking time, making sure, okay, this is good. This is good. This is good. Now, also another question: since you are Nigerian, or how long have you been in the States?
I've been here. I came to college in 2017, so let's say 5 years.
Okay, so you're not really. Do you feel the pressure to like be a 100% Nigerian artist? Like, do you feel the pressure? Because sometimes I feel like when you're Nigerian, I want you to make only Nigerian music.
Not at all. That's why I make Afrofusion, because in my core, I still am very African. I make very African music, but I listen to like music from everywhere. I've been here for 5 years. I like Ali Uchis and Tyler the Creator, and so like I'm gonna be influenced by them. So I don't feel any pressure at all. I actually feel free being in so many places and like part of so many cultures at the same time. It's so good when I just fuse all of them together.
Wow, I heard you mention Afrofusion. There was another artist on here who mentioned that they make Afrofusion music too, because they also was African, and their explanation was pretty much the same thing as yours. But I think our younger generation, I think we are more open to different genres, pop and hip hop and R&B, and that's how you build a wide range audience. So we are here. The Pity Party EP just came out. Like, what's next for you for the rest of the year?
That is a secret to me too, because I also don't know. But like, eventually, we're gonna figure out what happens. Right now, we're trying to promote the Pity Party and trying to get it out there. We're trying to get everyone to hear this magic, and we'll see what happens after.
Maybe a video.
Maybe. We don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. It was so nice meeting you and stuff like that. We follow each other on social media. And when I tell you I love each 4 of those songs, I think, putting shorter projects and make people want more. They kind of leave. A lot of people say it's too short, but I think it kind of leaves people on the edge of their seat like, okay, let me just follow them and keep up with them to see when they're going to come out and make more music. It's going to be a follow-up. So thank you so much. How was that?
That was great.